In any given year, more than 1 in 5 of us will experience some type of mental health problem. Whether you're feeling the pressure and stress of life, struggling with family conflicts, relationships, or simply want to elevate your self-esteem and worth, BetterHelp is here for you. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. This year has been really trying for me, and I've undergone a lot of changes. Between moving, balancing motherhood and work, and being pregnant, I've questioned myself, my thoughts, and decisions a lot. I knew I couldn't get through these moments alone and made it a point to keep my mental health in check. Connecting with a licensed professional therapist on BetterHelp has brought so much clarity to my life. It's actually really convenient, more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/thinkloud. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thinkloud. Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast. 3 moms, today 2, getting real with parenthood, relationships, and the WTF moments of our daily lives. Today, Shanan will not be joining us. She had to take a mental health day because sometimes being a mom is really, really hard, as we all know, being a parent, period. So she is not here, but we have 2 wonderful guests, Remy and Brandon, who are joining us. And today our topic is COVID love. So I am Arkylin.
I am Cheyenne, and I'm Remy's best friend, and we are going to talk about our COVID love today. No, I'm just kidding.
My COVID love is actually with Cheyenne, right, not with this man right here.
Brandon's just here for fun. It's really me, no. JK.
So when did you find out you were a prop? Like,
people are going to be like,
pregnant.
Shy's in a throuple.
Right. After he gets me pregnant, we have the kid, then I'll break it to him that he's just a prop.
Look at him, look at his face.
And then we could be together.
We were always
like custody or something like.
Yeah.
The weekend.
Yeah.
stop.
Yes. Hi, I'm Remy.
Stop.
Cheyenne was right about one thing. She is my best friend. But the person who I found COVID love with is this hottie to my left.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Wow. A little hot in here.
Brandon, you have like such a good radio voice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, guys, let's just jump right into it. We actually took notes this time or wrote down notes because you know how we like to just go on tangents.
Like to talk.
We like to talk a lot, and half the time it will be totally not on like the actual subject that we title our podcast for. So let's just start with who you guys are as individuals, not as a couple. Like who you are, where you're from. Give us some fun facts about who you guys are.
Cool. My name is Remy Logan, and I am...
Where are you from? Okay.
Okay, I was at that over. Hi, my name is Remy, and born in Philadelphia, raised in North Carolina, and then I went back to Philadelphia for college. I went to Temple University, and I moved out to LA not too long after I started college. When I graduated.
What did you get your degree in? Did you finish? Look, are we good?
Wait, the fact that I got my degree in broadcast journalism is a joke.
God.
I was going to say something hopefully not speaking related, but that is exactly.
But I got my minor in political science.
Ooh.
So yeah, there's that. And, live out here particularly because of the sunshine, because I love the weather so much. And a fun fact about me is that I have
a singing voice.
Right. And like you sing, Remy? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what do you do for work?
I was gonna. You always have had cool jobs.
Remy always has a cool job. Not like she's had many jobs, but
it's always a cool job.
It's always a cool job.
There's a lot of jobs within the job. Yes.
Yeah. So as of right now, I work at this amazing music management company. It's called Tap Music. and we represent the greats in my mind. My great.
Dun, dun,
I love
dun.
Dua. That's our girl. She's one of our clients, and yeah. So for TAP, I pretty much do everything. Don't even know how to give myself a title, but yeah, I love the music industry. Prior to working at TAP, I worked at Fenty, where I was a part of Rihanna's branding team. So yeah, stuff like that, like all the brand partnerships and the fashion shows and the events and all the good stuff that never allows me to sleep.
Remy's really cool, guys.
Yeah.
Just want you to know.
Never allows me to sleep. And I guess the fun fact I would say is Distorted Mirror Ministries.
Yeah, talk about that.
That's my baby. So I had a kid, joking. So not too long ago, I launched this very, very small ministry called Distorted Mirror Ministries. And it's basically just reminding girls of their worth, letting them know whose image they're made in, and just letting them know that everything that they tell themselves that's not you are worthy, you're beautiful, and you are loved is a lie.
So where, for our listeners, where can they go look it up at?
You can go to distortedmirrorministries.com.
And is there an Instagram or is it your Instagram?
It's my Instagram. It's Remy Chantel 09. And I haven't made. Here's the thing,
Girl,
guys.
right? When did you make that?
I am so bad
It was the 09 for me.
It's like an aim, right? That was my aim, because I'm like, I'm going to graduate high school in 09. So
That is hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm really, really bad at social media, and I can barely run my own personal page, which is why I decided not to make two. So I just decided to merge them into one.
So I'll put all of Remy's information and Distorted Mirror Industries, fucking A.
Distorted
DMM, okay? That's what I call it.
Mirror Ministry.
Yeah, it's like a tongue twister. We'll put all that info in the
Right
description
here.
so that you guys, and on the video if you watch our YouTubes, or in the description box for the YouTube, so you guys can find and check it out. It's really, really cool. So make sure you guys go and support her. She has really cute cups, teacups.
Really cute cups.
Yes. Okay, Brandon, your turn.
Wow. How do I follow after?
Just speak properly and you win.
Don't mess up.
I was gonna say, is that
If
how
you
you got the girl?
Yeah, you can just tell us who you are, where you're from, you know, where you go to college, stuff like that. Just your basics.
Yeah, the basics. So,
Who, what, where?
hello everyone. My name is Brandon Bobo. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Raised in Brooklyn, but kind of in two places. I moved to the Poconos when I was in high school. I think I was like 15 years old, but my heart is in Brooklyn. I always spent time there, you know, even after moving. But prior to graduating high school, I went to Temple University with Remy, where we didn't know each other. I knew of her, but she didn't know about me. She was real popular.
Ooh.
Oh, so what were you?
Ooh.
I was real calm in the cut. She was real fancy with her friends.
Remy, is this true?
She was a football wife. You know, she sat with the football.
Oh,
girls.
you were one of those.
I was
Yes,
one
it
of those
was.
embarrassingly.
Did you have a
enough.
pom-pom?
Oh yeah, I was like all in it.
Would you put the number on your face?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had the face paint. I would like wait at the dugout.
The dugout.
Like the dugout. I thought it was football.
We thought she was a football
Plot
wife,
thickens,
but
the plot
Wait,
thickens.
what's it called? The tunnel.
sure. Sounds great.
Yeah, that's better.
Right.
Anyways, back to your story, babe.
Right, this isn't about her.
So, I'm a tech guy. I study information science and technology. I work in tech right now.
He's smart, y'all.
Right.
A little
Mommy
bit.
and smart, whatever.
A little bit, but my passion is real estate and investing. So I'm looking to just build myself up so I can retire myself and my future wife one day.
He sounded smarter, y'all.
He's the smarter one.
But there's nothing cool about me at all.
Babe,
What?
fun fact.
Fun fact. Oh, I did. She made me do a wallpaper this weekend. It was cool. We did a little.
I know you did not make that
Time lapse.
his first fact. Out of all the fun things you could have said about him.
So Remy sings and Brandon's an artist.
A wallpaper artist.
My fun fact. Oh, I'm a tech geek. I like to build apps and.
There we go. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I should ask.
Yeah,
I have questions for
I know.
you.
Remember we spoke a little while ago, but yeah, I'm into whatever's tech, real estate. I like to just build on ideas, and I'll sit down and talk to anybody about anything. I'm super patient. I'll talk to anybody. I'm a people person, so whatever.
Yeah, you
I
are.
like building people. Like when I was rocking with Nana. Don't start.
Chatty.
Oh yeah. Nana loves Brandon, y'all.
Yeah, we was sitting at the baby shower, and everybody kept walking by like, "You all right?
Are you
I was
okay?"
Like, yeah,
They tried to rescue him. So
No,
Me and
Because
chilling.
Nana could talk.
Nana will lock you in for like a good hour and a half, and you won't even know how you got there.
She was giving me real OG game. So
Yeah.
shout out to Nana.
Aw.
Okay, so you guys went to Temple. He knew of you. You were too busy being a hot girl. So how did we get here?
Yes. How did
you guys meet?
how
How
did you
did
guys,
you
like-
re-meet?
Or how did you meet?
how much
Oh,
time
no.
do we have as a question? Okay, fine. I'll give the short version of the story.
Sure, you gonna give it?
Babe,
Go ahead,
I do
dude.
good at condensed stories.
Right.
Okay, so
I love this support right here.
1 February.
Okay.
See, that's how you know it's gonna be crazy.
Okay, fine. Short story. February 2019. Yeah,
That wasn't 19.
it was. Okay, 20. February 2019. Okay, sorry. I knew it was pre-COVID, but I couldn't remember how long in advance it was before COVID.
Look at Brandon.
So,
I should just read the love story off of the wedding website.
okay, I got this. Okay.
This is great right now.
So last year
There we go.
in February, I was in Philadelphia because I lost my grandfather. And I was very sad and depressed in my hotel room a few nights after the funeral. And one of my close friends, Simone, came over and she's like, girl, I know you're sad, but like, you got to leave this room. Like, this is depressing. She turned on the lights. She got me out and she's like, Ann, come on, put some clothes on. And I was fighting it, but because I'm so dramatic, I put on like a turtleneck long sleeve and I was just doing the most. And she took me out to this bar that I did not want to be at because I was fine soaking. I was like, I miss my granddad. I want to stay at home. So she took me out to this bar. And it was in the middle of, like, I don't even know where we were. It was like South Philly or something. Somewhere like downtown or not. But I still till this day can't remember the name of it. But Simone took me there and we were at the bar and I was just like so upset because I was drinking wine out of a straw and I just had an attitude. And I was like, can we just go to the bathroom? So we walked to the bathroom. On the way there, we see Brandon. I just see a person. She sees Brandon because she knows him. And she's like, Brandon, hey. And he's like, Simone, what's up? And then he's like, Remy, you a Cali girl. What you doing out here? I'm like, and who are you? And he's like, Brandon, whatever. And Simone's like, yeah, we all went to school together. So she's reminding me, it's like, oh, I do actually remember your face. Like, he has a familiar face.
Funny thing is, we followed each other on Instagram the whole time. Like, since Instagram started, we graduated.
Yeah.
Started when we was.
So you recognized her though?
Yeah, she followed me on Instagram. I followed her, so I knew she.
But I had no idea.
She act like she didn't know who I was.
I really didn't know it was.
All right.
So,
Right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Then we leave the bathroom and then we come back out and we go back over to the bar. And it was a night of me like turning guys down. They must be into sad girl at the bar because
they said that girl right there drinking the wine with the straw. That's the one.
That's the one. So he came over and I was just so tired of guys talking to me. But he came over to talk about like nothing about me or like, and he's like, so Cali, like I love it there. Next time I come out there, like where should I go? Like we just have a normal conversation about California. So I was like, okay, cool. And then towards the end of the chat,
Open houses.
we're talking about open houses. And we were just like laughing about going to one. I was like, I love open houses too. And it was nice that a guy was just talking to me about things other than, hey girl, what's your number? What's your name, yo? So,
Yes, that is true.
So when he asked me for my number, I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm in a season of singleness right now.
I remember that.
Y'all, Remy be having these seasons. And when I tell you she has a season, she really sticks to it.
Like, the commitment is
obviously
he broke it.
He broke it.
I was about
I
to say,
actually didn't. So
okay. Was the season over?
No, I didn't give him my number. So I told him that I wasn't able to give him my number because I was.
All right,
I was
slid in.
He slid in the DM.
In the DM. Let me correct that. So in the DM.
Okay, so fast forward. I didn't give him my phone number, and he was totally a gentleman about it. He didn't like attack me like most people do when I say no.
Brandon, were you a little sad? Did you feel a little rejected?
No.
Or were you like, girl, I got your Instagram anyway?
Yeah, that's what I said to her. I said, no problem.
I'll be back.
I'll hit you on Instagram.
So
I'll follow you.
So he DM'd me that morning to see if I got home. And I don't know if he knew that I was like a sucker for Jesus or not, but he was like, I'm on my way to church.
My grandmother.
With my grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
My two favorite things.
He
grandmothers
knew.
and
He
Jesus.
knew.
And he's like, I'm on my way to church. I'm going to New York to take my grandma to church today. I'm like, you're going all the way to New York to take grandma to church?
Wait,
Wait, you went to all the way to New York to take your... I was about to say.
I was in New York already. So I met you that night. And then I already planned on going to New York.
To take grandma to church.
No.
Just to
I
go
was
to New
going-
York.
I was going to New York.
Hey, stick with to go to New York to take grandma to church.
Right.
Yeah.
I think New York is to go to church is crazy when there's a church like down the street from Philly. But
I say that to say he mentioned his grandmother and church in the same
Jesus.
sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he already meets two criterias in my life. He's a man
Family
of God and he loves
and
his family.
faith.
So those two
Yes.
things were important. And I didn't, like, we would just have small talk on Instagram, but it got to the point where I would exude in happiness just to have a alert that says you got a DM. Like, I turned on my notifications once we started
Aw.
DMing because I was like, I really want to give him my phone number, but like,
Yeah.
I'm in my season of singleness. I don't know what to
remember that.
do. And it was his birthday.
it was the day after, and because you know how you repost after somebody
Right.
post your birthday. So, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so it was the day after my birthday, and the residual post was still going on after the 24 hours. So she comments, it was like, "Oh, it was your birthday. I missed it," and I was like, "Yeah, it's all good, you know." And I said something like, "It seems like you like talking to me on Instagram, you know, rather than texting me."
I like that.
And she was like, "I'm waiting for you to ask," and I'm like, "I asked you 2 months ago when I met you in person."
Girl, I've been asking
Yeah,
you.
I'm like, that's when I knew she was difficult. But she was like, I asked again, and she was like, "Let me think about it."
Remy.
She said, "Okay," and then just sent it, and I was like, "Yeah, I thought so."
That
Nah,
happened.
I'm playing.
So then he called me, and I don't know if our generation is just so basic that
People don't
phone call. I'm like, oh, he's calling.
Yeah.
I like ran into the living room. I was like, he's calling, I think, because it's a New York number. I'm like, I think it's him. So I picked up, and we were on the phone for
Like 3-4 hours. Like,
that
What
first
the
night.
hell were y'all
it was
talking
COVID.
about?
Was it COVID? It was COVID.
It
then.
was
Yeah, I was
COVID.
It was-
cupcaking.
Yeah, we was.
We were already in lockdown, so the first conversation we had is like, it's your birthday, you're in COVID, like, what are you
turned 30
doing?
in COVID.
Yeah.
I was telling about the party because D-Nice threw a crazy party on Instagram.
That was the first D-Nice party.
The first D-Nice party.
Yeah.
fun.
It was like back
So-
then, like in the day.
Everybody was shouting me out like in the comment.
So this was like beginning of COVID.
Yeah, it
Very
was-
beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
like
my
first
birthday's
week of
March
COVID.
21st, so
We went to lockdown like
my,
March 1st.
my job sent me home that Wednesday or something like that.
Dang. So from that first conversation that you guys had on the phone, that was 3 or 4 hours. What did that turn into like every day, or was that like a test trial of like, okay, let me call her like maybe once every week? Like, how did it work?
It turned into every day, but we were just like connecting on a level that had zero expectations of it turning into anything. Like we talked about
Everything. It was just candid conversations.
books
Like seriously,
and
like
animals and
like she talked about
dreams.
reading. I'm like, yeah, I don't read, but I definitely want to read more.
I don't
you know?
read. Wait, what?
No, I can't.
I can read, but I'm not necessarily reading a book right
I'm
now.
not an avid reader, you know.
He
so,
said, "I'm over here building apps, okay?"
Right. He's like, I'm trying to read. But when he realized how much I loved books, I swear it was like our first week talking, he sent me a book that we decided to read together. And
Hold on. So you went from not giving this man your number
was this
to
like a
giving this
electronic
man your
book
address
or a physical book?
She gave me the address.
yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
he asked for my address and I gave it to him. I don't know. I had like an instant level of trust when we spoke. Like our first conversation was just so organic and authentic. And I felt completely myself with this person. Like I was able to tell him that I was on this journey. I'm like, don't have these conversations with me expecting to come to LA and hit it, because I'm not that girl. And I'm like, here's why. And I gave him from the very beginning. And I'm like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I'm in my season of singleness. He was like, I'm never going to be in a long distance relationship ever again. So me neither. So we were kind of just like kicking it as friends. And I think because we didn't have the, we didn't have the expectation. So it also didn't allow us to have any falsities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great friendship.
Yeah, it was
to
a great
start.
friendship.
I like
so-
that.
She had
I
my
respect that.
Yeah, like things that I typically it would take me longer to get through, like an issue. She would talk it through with me patiently, you know, and that was special to me. So it was really just a good friendship that we were having. Like, and I'm speaking for you. Maybe you can confirm, but maybe like you felt like I had your back in situations, like you know, like you felt protected, and I felt the same way because of my feelings. My feelings were protected, you know.
Yeah. There was we had a safe space with each other.
This is really sweet to hear, because it's like you're cross country from each other. So it's your voice, your words, like your word, like that just, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like it really you guys felt safe and connected. Yeah.
It was like my getaway, because I was living in Philly at the time, and like my mom lived in the Poconos, and my brother, he actually went. Was he in the Poconos? I'm not sure.
School was shut down.
Oh yeah, school was shut down, so he was back, and the Poconos is just, it's dark sometimes. It's a beautiful place, but when you're in the house, there's nothing going on. It's just dark outside. So when Remy would call me, it's like Fridays, right? And she going to the pool. I'm not gonna say the location because
my office. I'll go to my office pool Fridays.
So she's there and she's FaceTiming me, and it's dark where I'm at, and it's bright and sunny, and she's smiling, and I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for all day, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like
Remy has a wonderful smile, so I could only imagine being on the other side of that phone and being like,
and she was probably in the itty bitty bikini too.
Yeah, that too.
She might be in this season of singleness, but I know this girl.
She's looking cute,
looking good.
looking good.
That season of singleness lasted.
I was gonna say, did not. When you guys started after you guys started talking and you said, you know, no expectations, I'm not doing this, I'm not looking for this, when did that change? Because it was quick.
It was quick. So we accidentally fell in love with each other, but it was also so intentional at the same time. It was like we didn't plan on it, but what happens when you build such a deep relationship? We were watching church together. We were doing devotionals together. We were reading together, going on walks together over the phone. But we were just doing everything together, and it was like meaningful things that we were doing together. So I remember one night.
You ain't never going no walk out with me on the phone.
No,
I remember.
I didn't know Remy took walks.
I remember one time I went for a walk with my dog and my mom, and you was like, you didn't call me, you went without me.
I wasn't there. Like what?
I adore this story right now.
And
oh my gosh.
There was this one night after I got home. I remember it was August 20th.
Before that.
Okay.
We had the Zoom talk. The Zoom.
No.
That was
Before the Zoom. We're going to tell you about the Zoom. We're going to tell you about the Zoom.
Yeah, because this is.
But I'm saying before the Zoom, how long were you guys talking when you guys said, okay, I want to be with you?
That's what I was going.
But you fast forward.
No, I didn't. That was in April. I remember. We did the Zoom in June. In June, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, this was the quickest relationship I've seen in such a long time.
Wait, we was together already when we had the Zoom?
Yes.
Oh,
that's why we pressed you so hard. Yeah. We were so confused.
I remember Remy came over one day and was like, guys, I'm in love. And I was like, when did this happen?
We're getting there.
We got to get there. Okay.
It happened so quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, April 25th, it's the date, because that's when we started dating. I got home and he called me and he was like, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, do you have a child? Do you have do you have a wife? What is going on? And he's whispering because it's late for his time. And he's like, I love you.
come on.
And I was like,
Brandon, how did you say it? How did you say it?
All right, I'm not gonna gas it. It was late, and I was
I was whispering. Come on, give us the whisper.
I'm not gonna. Okay, so it was very quick. So look, we started talking. It was like March 23rd. This is April 20th.
How did the months go?
March, April.
Right.
It was honestly like technically
a few days.
a month and
Hey,
2
Remy's
days.
over here talking about I'm single and my season of singleness to. So when he said I love you, did you
here we
say
are.
it back?
Yeah.
here's what happened. So he said, I love you. And at first I was silent. And then
Get
he
closer
said,
to the mic.
and then he said, and I want you to be my girlfriend.
Babe, come on.
And I said, oh my God, baby, I love you too. And I was like, I wanted to tell you this for so long. He's like, I wanted to tell you too. And
For
then I was
so
like,
long.
but I can't give you but I was like, I can't give you an answer yet. I gotta pray first because I'm in my season of singleness, right?
Because that's Remy.
So no, it wasn't until the next morning where like it took me a few days to say yes because I was like legit still in my season of singleness in my mind, but clearly all that was
Remy was in a relationship before y'all was in a relationship.
So I just remember there was one morning in particular. Well, I prayed about it at night and I woke up and I felt as if I was being like held. Like I felt such peace with saying yes to him, even to just be in a relationship, just such peace. And he's everything that I prayed for and more. Like I had a list which had like 36 characteristics on it. And he checked off things that I didn't even know I needed in a man. And I just felt like I still had to get permission. I'm like, God, can I be with him? And it wasn't like a yes or no. It was just like I felt the peace. And I went with that and I was like, I think God is approving of this and let's do it. So
I love you.
But no, it did happen fast. And I know that there was like a lot of skepticism, especially from Cheyenne.
Oh, yeah. She texted me like, I have a boyfriend. I'm in love. We're getting married. This is the house we're about to buy. Yes. These are how many kids we're having. And I'm like,
I wish we bought that house.
who? Like, not who, because I knew she was talking to Brandon, but it wasn't like I knew she was talking to Brandon. I knew like she met Brandon and there was a conversation with Brandon. She didn't give like this, it wasn't even Brandon at the time. This man, like her number, like I knew that story. So going from that story to, do you like the house? I'm like, bitch, what about the man? Like, what? I was so, as a friend, I was like, okay.
Cheyenne was stressed.
I was stressed. I'm like, Remy's lost it. Like,
Cheyenne was legit stressed.
I'm thinking, okay, it's COVID. Maybe she got it. Like, maybe, like, she's dying. Like, she's having, like, a COVID, like,
breakdown.
Life crisis. Like, my bitch is that bored. Like, what is, I'm like, well, you don't know. Like, I know Remy, and Remy has never hit me with, this is my husband, this is our house, yes. I am in love, and this is what I'm doing.
Cheyenne
I was really, really concerned.
Like, y'all, Remy might be losing it.
I was so confused. And then I talked to Zaina, who's our other best friend, and I'm like, Zay, is she good? Like, have you talked to her? And Zaina's like, she's being serious. And I wasn't sure if it was like serious or a joke. Like, I really had to come to terms with the fact that this is a serious conversation. Who came up with the Zoom idea? Zaina came up with the idea of let's like all meet Brandon. Yeah. And Zaina created like this whole presentation PowerPoint. If you guys ever watched Teen Mom, Remy and Zaina did a PowerPoint with Zach, and it was after we got it from the fact that Zaina did one for Brandon. Yeah. And Remy was like, okay, you guys are gonna get on this Zoom and you guys are gonna meet Brandon because we're in a long distance relationship too. Like what Remy's doing, I'm like, okay, we gotta get on board, once I realized, like, oh, she's being dead ass. Like, she's not.
Oh, wait. I think it was supposed to only be my parents. I think my mom texted you.
Yes.
told you.
Yes.
Oh, you were in the car.
Yes. Super mom was
Sean was like, y'all, I gotta go do this Zoom.
Because I think I even texted your mom, like,
What the
is
hell's
Remy
going on?
okay? Like, who is this character? Like, where did he come from?
Oh, my God.
So, okay, long story short, because we're getting the tangents. We got on this Zoom. So it's literally Remy's parents, me, and my family's low-key in the back of the Zoom because they were in the car with me. So they were there, but not there.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like.
No, we were at Dad's house.
We were somewhere. And
We were at my dad's
I gotta
house.
go
Yeah.
do this Zoom. And I
We
just
were
remember
at
being
my
like,
dad's house.
this is really happening.
So,
Like, this is really happening.
and then it was Zaina, and then Brandon got on, and we pressed the living dog shit out of this man, and he took it like, okay, what's next?
He's still here, y'all.
Okay, what's next? But like the answers were so genuine.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, is he crazy?
Like, if it's not her,
I'm like, okay, like, and we were throwing like all the same stuff that we would have asked Remy, like, okay, so you're in love and you're getting married and we're getting a house, and he was like,
Not only we're getting a house, but
this is
the
a house. It was like, yep, yes, and there was no hesitation, no like awkwardness. But it was all still in fun. Like we still had it was still a fun call. I think it was
My
fun.
mom pulled out a gun.
I was gonna leave that out. I wasn't sure if you wanted. I wasn't sure if you wanted people to know that. But at one point in the Zoom, there was a gun.
She pulled it like from under her pillow.
Under the
too.
pillow.
Supermom does not play.
Yes.
She especially does not play about her baby girl.
And her pops was like in the bed sleeping, like she got work the next day.
Yeah, no. My dad was like sitting adjacent from me when I was doing that Zoom, and we were on there for a while, like a long time. And when we got off, he was like, he must really love her to sit there and entertain that conversation for that long. Like
Cheyenne and
don't
Zaina
care.
are quack.
He's like, I
y'all.
don't care what
love
you
them,
think
but they're
about
quacky.
it, but this is it. Like, you're not gonna find anybody else who's gonna sit here and do that with y'all.
I was tired at the end.
And you
I was
stood through
tired,
it,
though. I was
though.
like,
And you
oh,
were such a good
that's crazy.
sport.
You were a really good sport. After that, I was like, okay,
cool with me.
I guess.
All I know is when I first met you, Brandon, in person, it was like we had been family for.
Okay, we gotta
years.
get to that.
It was a vibe when we first
It
met.
was
We
like
gotta
it was
get
so
there. Down in the
kitchen,
easy.
too.
It was
It was
such.
Like to jump ahead.
I know I like
Yeah,
to
I'm
jump
sorry.
ahead, and
Yeah.
Brandon too.
When did you guys actually see each other for the first time in person? After
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
You want to tell this?
who came to who?
I came out there. That's when I met y'all.
Yeah.
It was around Memorial. Nah, it was a little after Memorial.
It was the
It might have
very
been-
beginning of June.
It was right before Memorial Day.
Very beginning of
You
June.
sure?
Yeah.
I left the beginning of June.
Well,
I came in May.
Okay.
End of
fine.
May, beginning of June.
Y'all in these days.
Whenever I did, because I left the beginning.
They
of
probably
June.
have a relationship calendar somewhere.
Probably we go on Instagram.
Just tell us story.
So
It's
I
an
came out there.
Instagram.
We were looking crazy. Like I didn't get a haircut.
For months.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID. Back then,
Y'all
everybody
saw
know.
him.
I remember.
I had the nasty fro. Like, I mean, it was curly, but it was
not nasty.
It was not nasty.
It wasn't nasty. I'm
It was
gassing
scary.
It just wasn't all the way groomed.
Right. It wasn't groomed. But that's
Oh,
when,
was this the Airbnb?
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, so-
Okay, go ahead.
crazy. I came to see you and we stayed I stayed for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
About 3 weeks. But I was working still. I was working from home. You were working from home. It was a little, but we had like a little rough patch.
Basically, what he's trying to say is that we decided to take a break after we at first hung out, and there were some discrepancies in our relationship that we didn't know existed. Sorry,
Until you
Mer-
saw
but
each
this-
other in person?
Yeah, well, so when Remy introduced me to her celibacy, right? I wasn't on that same page.
Oh,
You know?
okay. So let's back
Yeah,
it up.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
back it up. So Remy was you were on a single thing. Now you're not on a single thing. But along with your single season, you were being celibate.
Correct.
I remember that. You and Zaina were celibate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in my season of singleness.
Shaq crazy.
Within my season of
Shaq
singleness, I was also celibate.
I I commend you, my friend.
Yeah, I was celibate, and I let Brandon know about that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cool, sure. I've never done it before, but I'm down to do
Sound like
it."
drugs.
Did you know that she
Done it
was
with
celibate when you were on the phone and stuff, and like you said, "I love you, be my girlfriend"? Did you know she was celibate at that time?
Yeah, I knew she was celibate.
But you thought once she was your girlfriend, that was over.
Look at Remy's face. Remy said, yeah.
Yes and no, kind of, because although I was introduced to that, excuse me, my voice driving me nervous now. Right? That sounds like I said I love you, but no. Although I was introduced to it, I didn't really fully understand that that's real. You know, like
That she was gonna keep that same energy.
Yeah, when I pulled up to LA,
you thought you was about to get a little nucky.
yeah, I thought we was gonna try a little something, and it didn't work out. You know, but
Remy was like, whoa.
what I learned was, and this is, I guess this is fast forwarding, but Remy pulled back from me. You know, it's the deepest relationship that we had in that month of April, in May. Once that happened, she felt that disconnect. She pulled away from me. You know, even when I met y'all, it was just different because, I mean, we were in a relationship, but we crossed the line at some point.
Got it.
So when I went back home, when she let me know that she had to step away from the situation, we had to take a break. She went home to North Carolina, and she let me know that she doesn't know. She didn't let me know. She told me that she doesn't think that I'm the man that God sent her, after all. You know, so
I remember when you were going through this.
I remember all of this too.
It was heavy because it
got deep.
Yeah, it was deep. It was a check for me. It was a check for me, and I think that's when I made that full pivot because I was like, wait. I put in a lot of work for to get here with you. So I had to go to God, and I had to pray on it and work on myself and understand if this is something that I'm willing to, agree to as well. And it was a challenge for me to work towards that. So, Remy, she put that distance between us. So, and it was more so for me to work, for her to I guess to pray on it too, but for me to show and prove who I am and who I say I am. So it took a little bit, like maybe another month or two, but it worked out because I put that work in, and Remy can attest to it that
because I remember when I came out to Supermom's house, I think it was kind of towards the end of the rift.
Yeah.
But I know at night, maybe it wasn't night. It was either night or morning.
Night.
You would go into a room by yourself and you'd be like, this is the time where like Brandon and I do our devotionals and we talk and like we're going through something, but like we're working towards like the outcome or the end of it, whatever. I remember that. But how's the celibacy going? Brandon.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's cool. It's good.
Does it get hard? Not
Whoa.
okay. Not
It's
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay,
No,
just to
I-
clarify.
It works.
No, not you.
No.
I'm saying, do you have
Is it
moments where it's
difficult?
like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How am I doing this?
So let's clarify. They're still in their season of celibacy together as a couple. And we are now, October
Now we
2021.
a year and August, November, a year and 8 months in.
Yeah, and
celibate.
Celibate. Yeah. I mean, I was celibate before we started dating, but really
Together.
quickly before we
Yeah.
move on.
He said I wasn't.
He wasn't.
fresh out of-
He was fresh out the
I was
streets.
I was on a date that night when I met Remy. I hope she. Well, I don't care.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. You heard that.
We went out to dinner, me and the other person, the other young lady, and I dropped her home, and I said, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home.
And you went back to the bar?
I went to the bar because it was actually my boy's party. My boy Shaq.
Brandon.
And I'm like, he's such a good guy.
Nah, men are men.
Right. Men are men. Men are men.
So
Men are men.
I went to the bar, and it was my boy's event. So I was waiting there for him. I was by myself. I was about to leave until I saw Remy and Simone there. And Yeah.
The rest is history.
The rest was history. Like
But yeah, he was fresh out the streets. So even when like we had that rift in our relationship, I don't think as he said, he didn't take my celibacy seriously enough to think that it would still uphold while we were together in person. So when he tried to cross that line, he realized how serious I was. And I was like, listen, if you can't do this, that's okay. Go away. You know what I mean? Like, go be free, go back to the streets, do what you need to do. But like, I don't want to be with somebody who I have to worry about whether or not the celibacy is only with me until we get off the phone and then they like go do their hoeing. And we talked about that. And I'm like, please just be honest with me. Like, if celibacy isn't something that you can commit to, then don't lie to me and tell me it is.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, after that, our distant pastors, Pastor Mike Todd, not pastors, Pastor Mike Todd of Transformation Church, did a series on relationship goals. And they tackled soul ties and sex at the same exact time where Brandon was trying to really understand the root of celibacy. So it's like where it started out as a request from me, it ended up being like, it's almost like God sent backup and was like, I'm going to send Mike Todd to talk to you about it, and I'm going to give you this book where Devon Franklin talks about it. So he read the book, and he
read a book, y'all.
He read a book, y'all. and
he's here for this.
And he said that it all connected to him at that point. Like, he understood the journey, and he had work to do. Like, I needed him to level up as a man. Like, I had, done the work in my season of singleness, which is why I think it's such an important season for people, because you just get to really know yourself, get to know all about you, the bad, ugly, the disgusting, and just get through it and deal with it without having another person to hide from.
How long would you say your season of singleness lasted, or how long was it?
It was 9 months.
Okay.
And how long were you celibate before Brandon?
For those months. I was celibate my whole season.
Got it.
Yeah.
Me too.
I was celibate my whole season.
I wasn't.
But when he came back around after we broke up for that short amount of time, for that like 6 or 8 weeks while I was in North Carolina, he came back with vengeance. Like, he was very ready. He's like, I'm going to level up. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to be that person that I know I could be. And I didn't want it to be forced. Like, I didn't want me to tell him everything I wanted in a man. I wanted him to take that time on his own time to figure out, like, who do I want to become? What kind of man do I want to be? What kind of husband do I want to be? What kind of father do I want to be? And once he started getting clarity for the kind of man he wanted to be, I haven't seen like any sort of deference from that.
So Brandon, from you, like, okay, I get like you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna become celibate. You were once in the streets, as we all have been. But what, like, were you doing it with the intention of this is gonna be my wife, or were you doing it with the intention of like what were your intentions at the time, or did you not have any?
Well, yeah. If at first it wasn't for her to be my wife, it was more a look in the mirror for myself. Excuse me, sorry, I'm not talking to the mic. But yeah, it was more for myself to be able to fulfill who she needs to be. I need to be right within myself, and be able to stand firm on my own, especially in a long distance relationship. We're not going to be flying back and forth from Philly to LA every month. Without being celibacy, we probably wouldn't have been able to make it that far, because you can't just fix things on sex. You get upset with somebody, like, you try to make it up with sex. It doesn't work. I'm more focused. I'd never heard a woman so clear I've never heard a woman so clear outside of my celibacy. Like, when there's a problem, I know. Before she says anything, I feel it. I hear it in her voice. No lie, I can tell. We don't even have to be on the phone. I know there's something wrong. So for the fellas out there, I totally would say try it out. Outside of getting, everybody has a spiritual side, but even if you're not spiritual, if you just care about your woman, like, you'll try it out, because it's like we listen to something, but when you handicap, if you can't see, you can hear more clearly. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hear, you can taste. It gets magnified.
Your taste buds are higher.
Yeah, their senses.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is without sex. It's like you're not trying to be like, okay, all right, hurry up. Are you mad? Okay, tell me why you mad. Okay, yeah, I know I didn't do this. I know I didn't do this. All right, let's have sex now. It's not like that. We're getting to the root of the problem, and it's fixed. We're not running it back. Everything is heard, everything is said, and we moving past it. And that's why, although we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and now we're engaged, we have a great foundation. So nothing can really rock us. Like, I was having conversation with my friends, and I've never had the conversation like with a large group of people about our celibacy, and just explaining what I just explained about that foundation and being able to hear your woman. It changed a lot of point of views, because coming from where we're from, it's like people not trying to hear that. They're like, nah. Even I was like that. I was like, you're bugging. like one of my coworkers was celibate, and I was like, no.
For what?
You're tripping right now. I'm not trying to hear that. And one of my friends said that to me. He was like, nah, I would never do that. I know I wouldn't. And I wasn't taking offense to it, because, like, no, respectfully, when you're ignorant, you just don't know. And I told him, I was like, yo, listen, I'm not mad at you, because you sound like me 2 years ago or a year ago. So when you get to that point, you're gonna know. You have to be in that situation. You have to be in that room with that person to actually make that decision.
Yeah.
So
I agree with the foundation part of it. And it makes you become like more friends. It's like you're dating your best friend.
Yeah.
Because the sexual part is taken out of it. And of course there's sexual tension. No one's saying y'all don't kiss. Like, that's not it. But I can relate to that, because Zach and I've known Zach since I was 17.
Yeah. We didn't have sex
for 10 years.
Wow.
And our parents thought we were downstairs doing the nasty, getting it, and we were not. When he was with me with Ryder, people thought, oh, that's weird, like, and all this stuff, pregnant sex. And people would always ask him, how is it? And he's like, we don't have sex. Like, we've never had sex. It took us 10 years. So The other day I was telling him, we should do 90 days of celibacy before the wedding. And he said, no, we did 10 years. Go eat shit. Like, I'm not talking to you about this.
I did my time.
Right? He was like,
I you. It's
I
real.
did the time.
He said, Cheyenne, you do know we have a kid, right?
But
I'm sitting there just laughing like, this is great.
I got him to agree that I think we got down to like 20 days or something. But I'm listening to you talk about it, and I'm like, it's like, it wasn't intentional like y'all. It was just, I wasn't having sex, and it was just, it was what it was. But I think because of that, Zach and I are friends. Like, we've always been friends. So when we do argue and have those moments, it goes back to our friendship and like the foundation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we have sex.
Once
Goals.
Once it's figured out. But I would say, like, compared to my other relationships, like you said, it's a lot. It would be a very quick process of, okay, why are you mad? Why are you mad about this? And then like make up sex or angry sex. And it's like, that's not what it is.
Yeah, you can't.
Because then you wake up and you're still mad.
Yeah, exactly.
The next day I'm still stomping around the house. And it's like, but for what? We had sex. Why are you so mad? Like, what do you mean, why am I so mad? Just because we had sex. So I get.
That doesn't mean anything. That's not a fix.
It's not a fix.
Anything.
So.
Right. And I know for me, one of the reasons why I decided to be celibate was because I didn't know how to leave toxic relationships if the sex was good. So I couldn't I ignored red flags because we were sexual. And I was unable to see clearly. And even if I was seeing clearly, I didn't choose to listen to that. because we were so tied sexually.
And those soul ties
They're
through
real.
sex are so real.
Yeah, I stayed in so many relationships
It's
for way too
real.
long for that reason. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't even like you. Why am I here? You know, like, I don't even like you. So part of like my journey in becoming celibate was so that I can see clearly. And Brandon said it so beautifully, where when that sense, so to speak, isn't being used, everything else is magnified. So you have to listen more, and you have to talk more, and you have to just like really, really get through things, because you don't have that comfort of, you know, sticking it in.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're not right, I'm not right. It's just it just don't work.
Okay, I have a question. This is off topic other than sex, but I know that your friends were probably looking at both of you guys like, well, how did we get here? How did this happen? Mm-hmm. But we're your friends. We can get over it. We can get on board. Or if they're not your real friend, then they can kick rocks. What about your parents?
That's a
I was
great
gonna
question.
say, how were the parents?
My mom was like, "You crazy."
Mom,
is your mom from New York too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could imagine this voice.
How did you even explain it to her?
How did I explain that I'm getting on the airplane in April or May? No, matter of fact, it was April because
you were trying to.
They held me back. They was like, "You crazy, you bugging." I had to like fight. I had to.
You bugging?
Yeah.
Y'all, this was the beginning of the shutdown.
COVID, and I'm saying,
no toilet paper, no Lysol, no mask. Like everything was just sold out.
We in COVID right now. You get on a plane, you go. The most you wear is a mask.
Yeah.
I'm talking. I was wearing gloves. Yeah, this is the beginning. So somebody next to me had on a hazmat suit.
Yo,
so this is like,
this sounds like
your mom was like, no.
My mom's like,
real life.
You're crazy. You're crazy. And my brother was like my brother's, Malachi's so calm. But
is your brother older or younger?
He's younger than me.
His mom even said to me, if anything happens to my boy, I'm going to get you. And I was like,
okay.
I passed the phone back to Brandon because it was when he landed, and like we called her in the airport. I was like,
awkward.
Yeah, it was funny because
nice talking to you.
Right.
At this time, this wasn't like any type of conversation of like, I'm going out to meet this girl and we're being celibate. Like your mom didn't know yet, or did she know?
I don't think
or did your brother know?
Brandon didn't even really know.
No, you didn't really know. That was like the beginning, right?
That was early.
So when you got back, you told your mom, like, what was that conversation like?
So, yeah, I don't really remember speaking to her too much about it. I stayed in Philly for a few days because I couldn't go back to her house.
She said, "Get your COVID ass out of here."
Right. But
and it wasn't like you came out here for a short period of time. You were here for weeks.
Yeah. How did she react when you told her that we were celibate? Once you actually decided to be celibate for real?
She said it was beautiful. It was a good decision, especially being in a long distance relationship. She said it was great. I don't think I really had that full conversation with her until maybe like later in the summer.
What about your brother?
And I don't think I spoke to him about it. Like,
if I came home and told Cheyenne,
like later in the summer,
I'm being celibate, she's gonna laugh at me.
Anyway.
Okay.
I mean, they all respected it, but I can't really recall their
initial reaction.
Yeah, their reactions.
So at what point did your mom understand, or your brother, or whoever is like your go-to person, understand like, okay, Brandon is genuinely in love with this girl and he's probably going to ask her to marry her? Like, when did that realization come from your side?
I don't know about the proposal part, but when I brought her home that summer, like towards the end of the summer, when she came to meet my parents, my mom and my brother, that's when it was like, yeah, this is it. When she met, because I knew she was the one for me, but when she met my mom and my brother and they was all gelling, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is great.
Do this.
Yeah, and my godmother was there.
Aww.
And a few of my mom's other girlfriends was there.
How was that, Remy?
Yeah. I was telling Remy, send me pictures. I needed proof of life.
She did great.
I was terrified.
You guys were cooking, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay, I was honestly terrified. Because we had just come out of that space that we were like not doing well in, but we were still doing devotionals, as Shy mentioned. But like, he was like, just meet my family before you go back west while you're here. Like, I don't know when you're going to come back. And I'm like, but we're not together, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want to go meet his family and then like his family so much that I make an excuse to stay with him because I enjoy his family. And the opposite, I just didn't want to meet his family, not being sure about our relationship. But meeting his family made me more sure about our relationship. And it was just that time that we spent together was so meaningful. And hanging out with his mom and his godmom, and I was texting you, Zayn, and my mom, I think, the whole weekend, like, oh my God, I'm in the kitchen, I'm trying to cook, I'm going to burn everything down. Yes. His mom tells me I need a wonton because Brandon likes this and he likes cakes and I don't know how to bake. And I was just like, I'm going to fail. But
Help me.
I remember that.
But no, it was lovely. I felt so welcome into that space. And I couldn't have asked for a better weekend meeting his family.
I love that.
And it solidified, like, where I wanted our relationship to go. Like, I knew that I was really ready to move forward.
I think that's beautiful. I also love that when you guys were going through your rocky point, you still did your devotionals together. So it's like your faith that had its own relationship within your friendship and your evolved relationship. Like, was that something that you came with, Remy? Because I know you were very much into your faith. Or was it just like a meeting of the minds? Like, how did you guys even get into that practice?
That was her. I had the Bible app on my phone for years.
Actually, babe, during the breakup, that was you who suggested we do devotionals during that time of not being together.
Oh, well, doing them together. Well, I think you meant doing them because I didn't even know there was devotionals in the Bible app until I met Remy.
Yeah, so I started this when we were back in the early days of our relationship. We would do the devotionals, and I introduced him to them, and we would do like seasons of love before we were even in love, and keys to a successful marriage before we were in a relationship. And I honestly think that stuff like that set the tone for where we were going because it's almost like planning
And it was like, this is what this lady's on.
Seriously, like we were legit reading books about marriage before we were.
Yes, Remy would send me the books. I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it.
When we had the rift in our relationship, he suggested it to me, like, hey, we don't have to talk every day or we don't have to talk throughout the day, but can we do devotionals before we go to bed? And it would be like 30 minutes before he's like, hey, are you ready? Like, but I'm like, I'm watching a movie. Give me like an hour. I gave him a really hard time, even with devotionals. But he did bring it back that second time. And I wasn't sure if he was just doing it as like, I know this is what she wants, or if he was doing it because it was something that he felt like he wanted to man up in that area of our relationship. But the consistency never stopped.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So usually people can pretend for a week, but it was like 6 to 8 weeks of that. And the consistency never wavered.
So after you came back from meeting his family and stuff, then it was long distance for a minute.
Yeah, it was so long distance. And we were both so sure after that. The next month, we both went to North Carolina so he could meet my family. And, super mom, she crazy.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Like, he got along so well with my family. And did you have the talk with my dad then, or was it for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
Oh, he gotta tell you about the talk he had because he still hasn't told me about it.
I don't think that's the talk that you're supposed to talk about, Remy.
I want to know what he said.
That's not
Right. No.
He probably said, take her, and here's all her bills that I still pay, so we'll take those too.
Oh, my God. So you guys kind of were going back and forth. I'm done.
He said, marry her, please.
Y'all went like back and forth for a little bit. And then I know they were playing with the idea of like, you moving back east, him moving back
there was a lot of talks about you guys moving back east.
There was so much talk. I cried one day, like, Remy's gonna leave. Because I was
confused.
I was, like, upset. Because, this intruder came.
He was upset.
Yeah.
Came
I
out
was
of
upset.
nowhere.
I'm like, how are you going to move there with me? Like,
not having
what are you doing to me? Like, it was very selfish.
Shy came over one day, and I'm thinking we're about to just, like, hang out and, like, cuddle and watch movies. And she's like, so what do you plan on doing for a living when you get to North Carolina? Did you think about that? Did you think about, like, how you're leaving your whole career? Did you just, like, what's going to happen when you get there? Like, what?
Remy's answer, I'm going to be in overalls and I'm going to paint.
I was there that day. Yeah, you were. I was like, my mind, I was like, Remy.
I'm like,
slowly.
I'm like,
losing
does he have any idea what he's gotten himself into? The fact that you think you're about to be walking around in overalls, painting random walls in your house.
She might have been pregnant in those overalls too.
Yes. Y'all, in
was
my
like-
mind, I was going to be in overalls painting and like planting, and
Yes.
Brandon's just out
Brandon's out
working
building, out
500
working.
jobs.
And I'm just at home painting. And Shy was like, what? I said, yeah, Brandon's going to just allow me not to work so I can work on my passion projects. And she's like painting?
I said,
And
what is that, Remy? I just don't understand.
You're like, I didn't even know you like to paint, Remy. And she's like, I don't.
I'm like, have you told Brandon this? She's like, well, you know. I'm like, so no. She's like, well, you know. I'm like, no. I'm like, whatever. Is there more to the
You know.
statement? Right.
No.
Oh my gosh, Shy was my drill surgeon. She just did not believe it for
didn't
herself.
get
She's
it.
like,
I
so
didn't get
why are you moving there? I need to understand. And I'm
And it
like
was
telling
like-
her about the houses and the price of living. She's like, yeah, but no, I don't think you're really thinking this through. And then a few months later, I'm like, you know what, Shy, we're not moving there anymore. She's like, I tried to save you all this back and forth 3 months ago.
It got
And
to
it
the
wasn't
point
about
where-
Brandon at that point. Like, because at that point, we all loved Brandon. Like, as soon as we met Brandon in person, I mean, we liked Brandon a lot after the Zoom. But then meeting him in person, even when we met you and you guys were going through your rift or whatever, we still really liked you. So it wasn't about, like, me not believing in their relationship. Did I think it happened really, really fast? Yeah, but everybody thought
Stuff
that.
happens.
Yeah, so it wasn't that anymore. It was more so of Remy and this idea of moving and painting and like dropping what
Overalls.
she's worked really hard to create out here. So I was confused as to like if that's something that you like want in your head, or is this something that like he's telling you like you can't get a job? Like I was trying to figure it out from the standpoint of like that. And now to find out, I think it was this Remy's dream.
My dream.
Yeah.
That's my dream. To just paint the house. And
All I know, at one point, Cheyenne was upset and she was looking at houses. And out,
I was
out
so
there.
pissed off.
And she was like, what am I doing out here?
I was so mad.
It was.
Because Zach and I were looking for a house, and,
And then, yeah.
Remy was sending me houses, and it was like
They're
Remy's
beautiful
sending me these
homes.
gorgeous homes with so much land, and it would be like the amount that she would have to pay for the entire house is the
The
amount
down
that we'd have to
payment.
put a down payment on to get a box out here, an ugly box. I'm like, Remy, what the hell? But I'm like, what the hell in real estate? Like, not her at this
Yeah.
point, but still, like, what the hell? I was so angry about it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's why you want to live there,
Yeah,
because the cost of
practical,
living
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, I
That's why I couldn't
understand
take
it.
off work and paint it.
Yeah,
We was
and-
building off of practicality, but you know things worked out. Fast forward, I live here now.
We didn't get the house in North Carolina because we decided not to live
We
there.
should have bought the house.
We
in
should have
North
bought the house,
Carolina.
but still lived here. But to Kyle's point, we changed our minds so many times, and before we were engaged, we knew for sure that it was North Carolina. Then we got engaged, and we almost put down a deposit for this cotton mill in North Carolina, and something was like, we just can't get married at a cotton mill.
The drive to the cotton mill was crazy.
No, back up.
I missed the whole cotton mill phase.
Y'all, we have to
Consider
touch
yourself
on
lucky.
You guys keep on saying that you're engaged, but yes, they got engaged on Remy's 30th.
There was a cotton mill
And
involved.
as soon as they got engaged, it was like wedding planning is full in effect.
Yes.
And Remy hit me with, we're going to go look at a cotton mill. And I'm like, no.
Like,
No.
It was an abandoned cotton mill.
What were the
It didn't work
plans
anymore.
for the cotton mill?
It could have been dope.
It was industrial. It was once a
Okay.
cotton mill. It was no longer a cotton mill, but it was still called the cotton mill. And
She wanted to get married at the damn plantation where the
It was a
people
plan-
were
I was
picking
about to
cotton.
say, just hearing the words cotton mill, like
I know it was a bad idea. It was awful.
I heard screams in the back of my head. Like
I know. No, it was terrifying. I have no idea where we were going with it, but
I have
in
no
a-
idea where we were going with
in a
it.
perfect world, we would have gotten married in like Greece or Rome. And you know how they have the abandoned buildings where it's just like
That
ruins?
rustic.
This place
Got it.
looked like
Gave
an
that vibe.
abandoned building.
Wait, how
It
did
just
you go
happened
from
to
the
be a
cotton
cotton
mill
mill.
to the venue in, was
I
that
love
Philly?
y'all.
Yeah.
There was a venue in Philly that I loved.
I loved.
The one.
The
Curtis?
Curtis Atrium is such a beautiful, beautiful space. And I don't remember how we ended up moving it to Philadelphia. Excuse me.
This
but-
wedding has moved all around the world, y'all.
Yeah.
So-
all around the world.
all around the world. We were planning on getting married in Philadelphia because we were also planning on moving to Philadelphia too at some point. So we're like, let's just get married because he owns a house there. So we're like, let's just live there. We couldn't figure it out. I don't know. The only thing that we were sure about was each other. Everything else was just like so ridiculously indecisive. Every time I talked to you, I had a new wedding.
And
Or
we
a
started
new
getting
place to
frustrated
live.
with each other because we were so indecisive. That was like, okay,
Yeah.
we got to do better with this.
It was
this
bad.
planning
No,
decision.
legit, every conversation I would have with Remy, it was a new house in a new, completely different place. Like, a completely
Not even
different
a
place.
new location within the city.
No.
Not a new
Different states.
Different state.
Yeah, and then it would be like, okay, we got the house conversation done. Now on to the wedding, and we went from like
Putting an actual down
North
payments
Carolina
on.
to Philly to Italy at one point, right?
Yeah, it was Italy. at
And then
one
it was
point.
back to Philly.
Philly to Italy.
And then and then it wasn't in Malibu also.
No, but before Malibu, didn't y'all have an actual deposit and a
Yes.
date on a location in
Yes.
Philly?
Yes.
Oh
We
yeah.
had the
Yes.
deposit,
Yes.
we had the planner.
You
we
had the planner.
Everything was like.
Everything, the DJ, everything. Was
I remember just
locked
being
in.
like, "Oh, cool!
And
I've
then-
never been to Philly. I'm going to Philly for a wedding, y'all."
Everything
Like,
was locked in.
and Remy was gonna move into my house. I have a duplex, so we was gonna move into the apartment that I was living in. The house we live in now, the apartment we live in now, Remy's boxes that are still unpacked could fill up probably like one of my rooms, like my room. It was so small in Philly.
Yeah,
We
we
couldn't
wouldn't
have
have
made it. We
survived.
wouldn't have made it.
We wouldn't have survived.
we wouldn't survive.
No, we
So
wouldn't.
currently, right now, so that we get everybody up to speed, Remy and Brandon have been engaged. Their wedding is next month. Oh my God, I just freaked out a little bit. and
So
I'm
y'all
not
got
even
engaged
getting married.
January 30th this year,
Yeah.
2021,
Yes.
and their wedding is in November,
Yes.
2021.
Yes. At 2
2
p.m.
p.m.
We were so I guess our
But Brandon moved here. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Is that they finally got a place.
Picked a
Long story short,
picked a
I'm
location,
They're
y'all.
here. Okay, so I
We're
got
here.
my friend here.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
God.
And we
Sorry,
got Brandon here, and Brandon
Yes.
was trying to
Stop
figure out how to get here.
he was
I
trying to
swear I was
figure
hitting Brandon on the side like, just come to LA. It's all good.
Yeah.
out. So I just live
But
here.
the one thing I do admire about Brandon, like you were trying to figure it out. You were like, Remy wants to be in LA. And you're like, I kind of want to be in LA too. And you were asking all of us, because just the entrepreneurial spirit, you were like, so like, how do I do this? What can I do?
definitely
Like,
think to y'all.
and I liked it because it was, you accepted us for who we are. And you were like, this is what I have to offer. Like,
Yeah.
I know not only did Nana wrap you up one night, but my mom had you.
But I get why
Like-
they were going
Yeah.
back and forth with the living because
Yeah.
where your families are and where your parents are.
Mhm.
But
We're here
I'm happy that you
too.
guys are
But shout out to y'all. I want to.
I'm happy.
I rave about y'all. I talk about y'all a lot. You know, y'all. You know, the two of you and your family.
Well, I'm excited to meet your family at the wedding.
I'm excited for y'all to meet them too.
I'm excited to meet your mom and your brother.
Yeah, they cool.
I've been really sad.
Are they gonna like
just
Hold on, I want to give y'all
because
some flowers real quick.
I want to be at the wedding.
Y'all, you all gonna be there.
I know. I'm really
She's gonna have a
hoping.
baby.
I'm really hoping that the
she's gonna
baby
be
is
there.
coming early, and I might just be there with like a 2-week-old in the room.
That-
Bring that
that'd be
2 week
dope.
old.
That's terrible of me, but I'm gonna be there.
Bring that.
I fell in love with Remy's friends that are family. And y'all are special. You know, to Remy, how y'all confide in each other, support one another, no matter what. Any type of conversation, y'all could take it to the nonsense, or y'all could take it deep. Y'all could take it spiritual. Y'all just there for one another, and that's very rare. And I fell in love with that too.
We fell in love with each other.
I know.
They really love each other.
it's-
Like
No, we-
sometimes I'm like, y'all really love each
No,
other.
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, we do.
when her and Zaina like was always together at one point, I'm like, yo,
This ain't it.
I'm calling. She not answering. I'm like, they over there.
He used to think we had sexual relationships.
I'm like, yo.
You do.
I'm like, yo, babe, for real, come on.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. So I
Nah,
dated
I'm not
this.
gonna
I
lie.
dated this guy, right? Everybody's gonna know who I'm talking about, but whatever. I dated this guy before Zach. Okay, and
Ooh.
we got in a huge fight one night. When I tell you the biggest fight I've probably ever had with somebody that I was dating, where I was looking at him like, you are so, like, are we really arguing? Like, break up type fight. I think we did break up, actually, because he told me I had to pick.
Yeah, I remember
between
That's
him
crazy.
and Remy and Dana, because he said he walked by the bathroom and I had on like a big t-shirt or like a robe or something and my booty cheeks were hanging out. And he said that Remy was sitting there tickling the cheeks and that I just continued to like do my makeup or brush my teeth or something and I didn't flinch, I didn't turn around, I didn't look, like I just continued my business. And he said like, you're in a relationship with them and I know it. And I was like, yeah, they're my friends. Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, well, you have to tell her, like, she can't touch you anymore. And I'm like, I'm not
Shywood.
I'm not about to sit here and tell Remy she can't touch me. Like, we're not doing anything. Like, she just tickled my booty cheek a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was like, genuinely like, no, it's me or them. And I'm like,
Bye.
them. Like,
I remember they came home from dinner one night and he was hot. He came out the car hot, and I was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Cheyenne and her friends," and I was like, "What's the problem?" And he was just like,
That's hilarious. I can see how somebody not like really level-headed just
Like,
can
really
get
thinks that
frustrated.
there's
Yeah.
something. No.
either that
It
or
got to the point
they'd
where
be
my
like, "You know
dad-
what?
My
I need to
dad
have
said something
I'm gonna
to
push
him.
the line with these girls.
Yeah, my
I
dad
might be able to
was
get
like-
lucky with all of them." Like,
Exactly. My dad was like, bro, why are you mad? Like, you should have just sat and, like,
Enjoyed it.
tried to participate, watch, took a picture. Like,
It's my bed too.
right, like, what is it? Right, like, what's the issue here? And I'm sitting there, like, it was a genuine, like, if I knew we were all going out with each other, it was like I had to make a decision if I was ready to fight a battle or not. Like, am I gonna go?
Are you gonna hold my
Am I gonna, like, you know,
walking?
go and not play with Remy, but, you know, play with Remy? Like, am I gonna go and
Remy is a very affectionate
yes,
person.
and I'm not. So Remy knows that she, like, it's almost like a game. Not a game. Like, I feel like we're flirting, but we're not flirting. Like, we don't like each other. We've never done anything, so nobody get that idea. But I would say I like holding Remy's hand every now and then when we walk.
We
And
hold
he
hands
would
and
be
walk.
like, hold my hand. And I'm like, I want to hold Remy's hand. So,
That's stressful.
no, it was,
No, it was
Brandon,
a
when I say,
lot.
I
thought it
had
was
to tell
hilarious.
Remy, like,
It was a lot.
I thought it was like
it was
really
very,
funny.
Very funny.
There was one day you came over to my place, you and him, and we were about to go out, but you had to change your clothes, I think, because you guys had just left lunch or something, and you came to change in my room. And he got so mad at you for changing in my room. And he's like, I don't know what happened, but he just switched, and it's like you want her to see you naked. Like, do you remember
Yes,
this? Like,
yes.
Oh, what
It
about
was
the
like
skinny
I
dipping conversation?
I purposely went in her
Yeah.
room and not in the bathroom. Mind you, the bathroom
bathroom
is
is
in
in
her
my
room. And I was like, you scare me because the switch would be so
Yeah.
like hot and cold in 2 seconds.
He
But
was insecure about something.
oh,
Now we're going to take a quick break.
In any given year, more than 1 in 5 of us will experience some type of mental health problem. Whether you're feeling the pressure and stress of life, struggling with family conflicts, relationships, or simply want to elevate your self-esteem and worth, BetterHelp is here for you. Check out betterhelp.com/thinkloud. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. This year has been really trying for me, and I've undergone a lot of changes. Between moving, balancing motherhood and work, and being pregnant, I've questioned myself, my thoughts, and decisions a lot. I knew I couldn't get through these moments alone and made it a point to keep my mental health in check. Connecting with a licensed professional therapist on BetterHelp has brought so much clarity to my life. You may ask me, why BetterHelp? Well, for starters, you don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. Anything you share is confidential, and you connect in a safe and private online environment. It's actually really convenient, more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp is available for clients worldwide. Don't just take my word for it. Check out betterhelp.com/thinkloud and start communicating with a licensed professional therapist in under 48 hours. Be like me and choose happy. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/thinkloud. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thinkloud.
And we're back.
Okay, so let's get into the wedding. How has it been planning a wedding during COVID?
Honestly, outside of all the changes, once we finally got to the most magical location that I think either of us could ever dream of, it's been, once again, we're indecisive. So, so we've been just, trying to get through all the creative decisions, and it's still just so expensive. We're excited about, or me speaking personally, I'm excited about the marriage. Like, I can't wait to be married to this man. But there's so many balances coming up.
Yeah,
and there's just like,
Look at
I know, and it's just the planning. It's the last little bit of creative things that has to be done. And then, like, you know how intense, like, you play at events, like, y'all get how intricate just planning a simple event is. Doing that for your wedding when you don't have an unlimited resources, it's just like,
my head would spin.
Oh my God, it's so intense. And it's like we're trying to figure out so much at this last minute. But the fun things we're trying to hold on to, like we went food tasting, and that was so much fun. And cake tasting, and we drive up to our venue quite often just to be there because it's so pretty. And that stuff is fun. Like that.
So what did you try at your food tasting? Was it good?
It was so good.
I tore it up.
Yeah.
For
so
real?
I ate everything.
Was it the choices that were on our? Was it the choices that were on your
You're gonna
invites?
be satisfied. You're gonna be satisfied. Like I chose the right chicken.
I almost wish we did the short rib and like the sea bass though, but
Brandon said, "Nah, I got this."
Yeah, I mean the sea bass.
I jumped the gun at putting salmon and chicken on the invites. I don't know why I did that before the tasting. Chicken. We should have put like meat or non-meat.
We should have put like beef, chicken, or fish.
Yeah. So that's advice for all of you. Don't send your invites out without your wedding tasting happening unless you can
But I feel like if someone chooses salmon, they know they're getting fish. Like I wouldn't be mad if I got sea bass.
Yeah, like, what is the sea bass?
Right, I like sea bass. Like, who's gonna sit there and be like, actually, I got the sea bass, I got the salmon.
Who's gonna remember?
Right.
Like, we went to a wedding this weekend, and I couldn't tell you what I had put on my RSVP until the guy came over to the table and said my name, and I was like.
Yeah. So honestly, if you decided you wanted sea bass instead of salmon, I would say do it. It's not like you're switching salmon to beef. Like it's a fish to a fish.
Right. I mean, the salmon. We didn't even try the sea bass. We were just saying that sounds like a better option. But the salmon was good.
The salmon was really good.
It was fine.
So we're trying to hold on to the fun parts of it because everything else is just really good.
Are you guys doing a signature drink?
Yes, we're doing 2.
So you have one and you have one?
Yes. We have not figured out what it is yet. So if anyone wants to, I don't drink.
I thought it has to be like what you drink.
Yeah.
No?
Well, mine would just be champagne, and that's boring because that's already on the menu. So
not unless you do like that drink that we get at Tao that has the champagne and the berries and the vodka in it.
I think that should be my drink. You pick something else. But that part's been fun.
You pick something else.
Okay, Brandon, how has wedding planning been for you? Are you into it? Are you not into it?
I'm into it. I'm trying to be like very aware because, Remy's doing a lot of this. Like besides work, her work, it's a whole nother job planning this wedding. So she's like the past 2 nights, she's been talking in her sleep, like literally about the wedding. It's like 3:00 in the morning. She's like, no, can't do that. I'm like, what?
Can't do what?
Yeah, right.
Brandon's like, we're not doing anything.
We're really not. But, yeah, I'm into it. I'm not. I try to put my little creative spin on it, but she's really headlining it and driving it and getting us there. And I'm just doing whatever I can along the way, and it's fun. It is expensive, but I told Remy, like, we got engaged in January. People get engaged in January and are paying for the wedding for 3 years. We're doing it in months. So we just need to be thankful that we're able to do it and not worry about holding tight to the money because we're going to have to spend it regardless.
Right.
So let's just keep
It's
our
just
heads
the
down.
idea of like spending it all at one time. That's
it's
like,
a lot.
It's quite ridiculous.
You
sometimes
see it in the
when
bank,
Yeah.
and then
it's
you're
And
like,
then it's
what
gone.
happened?
like whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that we're able to pay for it. It's not like we're here and we're like, no, we got to scratch this. We can't do
Right.
it. We're here. We've made it through the storm.
no, y'all are definitely here.
Yeah. So
It's countdown time.
It's countdown.
for sure.
And one thing that I really do love about the process is how involved Brandon is. Like, I think he tries to downplay his involvement, but like he has been a part of the flower decision and of course the venue, like the menu, the invites. Like he's been a part of the whole process.
Do a little
Just
something.
it.
And that I appreciate because people usually defer to the women to plan the wedding. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
Zach.
I'm like, I'll
Talk
gladly
to your
plan
friend
the
Zach,
wedding.
Brandon. Okay.
No, but you know what? One of my friends,
That's funny.
I won't. He gave me. He's been married. He's no longer married, and he's like a year older than me. But he gave me. Those were his words, and not that I wasn't gonna be that, but he said, "Yo, be there for her. Like, don't just, be present and help her and be a part of the conversations and give your input, show
Yeah.
that you care." So his words do stick with me, and I truly cherish his words because it's real game that you gotta this is not common for like us, we don't have a lot of married friends, so to go through this, we really have to have that that village and people around us giving us the right words.
And it takes a village.
It takes a village for
It
sure.
takes all of us. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you guys for sticking to
One location for
this
longer than
location.
This little California.
This one right here. I'm proud of you guys for, making the move and for committing to your celibacy. There's so many different things that
And for involving the
Yeah.
families and your friends, because it's like y'all could have just made this all about yourselves, but you still allowed
you allowed us,
us
in your
to
relationship.
be in the journey with you. And like Brandon, we did not scare you
Whether or
away.
not that was
like,
a choice.
I love
Was
y'all.
it-
I love y'all.
I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly.
yeah.
It's
a little bit.
Are you
That's just
writing
real
your
talk.
own vows?
yes.
Brandon, have you started working on
I got a
yours?
ghostwriter.
Have you started working on them?
Yeah, I did.
Aww.
I got bars.
Who's going first?
Ladies first.
No, babe, you have to
Ladies
go
first.
first.
Now you,
Okay,
now you want me to
Low
go first.
key at the wedding, we just went to the bride went first, and I really liked it that way because it was like the man closed it. I don't know,
Closed
it
it
just
out,
it
yeah.
just
We should
made
flip
it
a
feel
coin.
good.
we should put on the
On the
altar.
start, on
Yeah,
the spot.
like at the football game.
Just rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's how we decide everything
We
else.
do rock
Oh
paper.
my God.
We rock paper scissors.
That is
I'm
hilarious.
so excited.
I'm excited too,
Yeah.
guys. And
I'm more
Happy.
excited now.
you're excited now?
I'm excited. Like I'm getting like I'll be there, but I'm excited.
I just feel
it's
like
such
it's
a
been
big
a highlight
deal.
of COVID for us too, just because people were separated from their families. It was like, how do you even date during COVID? Where do you meet people? So to hear this love story coming out of COVID is such like a
Positive.
it is such a positive, and it's something to be cherished, and it's like I'm excited.
We're
Y'all give me hope.
Even I thought it was just so sweet yesterday because I was so stressed out planning the wedding and he started cleaning and cooking and I'm like, babe, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll do it. He's like, this is like, let me look after you too.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing so much with the wedding and like, I'm just going to cook and I'm going to put it away. And I thought that was sweet because we don't fall into gender roles where it's always on me. And I kind of thought that I would have had to like just take that responsibility where I have to do all the cooking, I have to do all the cleaning and like all the washing and just do everything and still
It's a
work.
team. You're a team now.
And I'm so grateful for the fact that like even as I'm stressed out and I want to, cook and do all these things, but he's like, I got it. You're doing enough.
That's
That's
sweet.
good.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. That's like my favorite thing about living with him.
So living together so far has been
It's been,
a positive.
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been great,
You like the
honestly.
food?
No, living together.
I'm stuck.
He's
I'm
so hungry.
Right? It's dinner time, but
It's been great, except for the way that he organizes the refrigerator
oh,
and the
shucks.
dishwasher. I have to just redo it all.
Oh yeah, I hate the way Zach puts the dishes in the fridge. The dishes in the dishwasher. I said dishes in the fridge.
I ain't grow up using a dishwasher, so I don't know.
We didn't either. I
broke
grew
our
up putting
dishwasher
a
when I was
towel
12.
on the
My
thing,
parents were like,
washing it, and
nah.
having it dry on the towel.
Y'all washing.
Dishwasher, I like this dishwashing thing, but I don't know how to use it.
No clue how to. I'm like, oh my god.
My dishwasher was where you put the bowls in the Kool-Aid container.
I'm done. Okay, I have one last question, and then we can wrap it up.
Tell us.
Are we doing it on the wedding night?
Oh yeah. And I told him he needs to be romantic.
What is your wedding day? What else do you want him to
whole thing
do?
is
The
romantic.
whole day is romance.
Right. Thank you, Shy.
What do you want him to do, Remy?
Right.
What do you want? Like rose
Have
petals?
some champagne in the room and like rose
Brandon, we'll set that up through the hotel.
like rose petals, maybe a nice love letter on the bed.
My
Even though
vows.
we
Your
just
vows. I hate this girl.
I think we need a teddy bear that goes, I love you. You're my wife.
So can we bring you guys back on for part 2 after the wedding so we can hear about the
Yes.
wedding and to hear about how the wedding night goes?
Oh
Yes.
If Brandon brings the
Dun,
romance.
dun, dun.
Are you gonna bring the romance?
I'm bringing it
Are you
all.
excited?
Do you have any requests for Remy? What do you would like her to bring?
Yeah. Ooh. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What's your favorite color on Remy?
Brown.
What?
She's saying that naked.
Oh. Okay, her naked. All right, got it. Okay.
I was trying. What's your favorite color? On me.
On you? You look good in everything.
I don't know.
Well, no, she's gonna be in white
she's gonna get all this
lingerie.
lingerie.
right?
Oh, what kind of
so-
lingerie I want?
Yeah.
Yeah. What colors do we want to see?
Y'all, the way he's looking at her is
I'm scared. I'm staying with y'all tonight.
close. Jesus
Maybe
Christ.
yes.
He's looking at her like she's gonna eat her right
Like, what
here.
color
We need to get somebody to marry y'all now. He said lingerie.
White?
All right, Brandon, we go.
What y'all think?
I think white. Yeah.
Okay.
I think white too.
All right. The way that we end every podcast every week, you have to give either your WTF moment of the week. It can be about anything that's
Anything.
happening, or you can give some advice about anything that's happening. I'll go first. About a few weeks ago, I stubbed my toe. Okay? My middle toe. All right. And it hurt so bad. It was bleeding. I was crying. And Zach was like, bro, like, it just hurts when you stub your toe. Like, not like stuck it up, but like low key stuck it up. And I'm like, but it's bleeding. Like, do you not see the blood? He's like, what are we going to do here? Like, put a Band-Aid on it. So, I'm like, all right. I put a Band-Aid on and I kind of let it go. Fast forward to like a week ago, maybe. It was like healed. But then I looked at it and I'm like, why is my toenail like
Popped up.
Like, I'm like, what is happening down there?
What?
And I look and I like kind of flip my foot up to look at me, and my toenail was basically saying hello to me. Like, it was hanging on through the back.
Oh,
Like, the rest of it was already off. And I'm like, damn, I'm going to this wedding. Like, I'm wearing heels. Like, my toes are about to be out. I can't, like, what am I going to do? So I went and got my feet done. I told her, just push it down. Like, push it down and paint it.
And you
So
can't
that
you can't glue it.
You can't glue it because it's just, and the back was still hanging on, right?
Cheyenne kept describing the toe as a loose tooth.
So yesterday,
Negative.
yes, bro.
literally.
I like
Yesterday I stubbed my toe again.
The same toe.
The same toe, right? And I looked down and I said, oh,
Did the nail fall off?
I currently have 9 toenails.
It's all the way off.
It's all the way off. And when I tell you my toes are perfectly painted white, so this one toe that has no toenail is standing out so insecure and so alone and scared and cold. And I've been walking around the house with no socks waiting for Zach to notice that I'm missing a toenail.
Has he noticed?
No. He's scared of my feet. But this will really scare him because I asked him the other day when I stubbed it again and it was hanging on. Like, I had to just take it off.
Yeah.
I was like, you want to see? He's like, no. So, yeah, I have 9 toenaws. That's my story. That's my WTF of the moment.
That's terrifying, Shy. I like
know.
almost want to see it.
I'll show you guys
Oh,
after.
I saw it. I saw it last week. I saw it
It's
yesterday.
very sad. It's very sad. Okay.
It was literally like a loose tooth.
Who wants
like,
to go
just
next?
hanging.
I think my WTF moment happened this morning when I'm laying in bed with who I thought was the sweetest man in the world. And he like cuddles in my underarm and he's like, babe, I didn't know that you smell like onions. And I was like, I think he told me I smell like an everything bagel. And he was like, it's time for you to shower. I was like, babe, it's 7:00 in the morning. Like,
That's funny.
yesterday was really busy.
I was gonna say, were you fighting a war in your
I'm
sleep?
just going to lie to all you. I mean, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth that the day before that, I didn't shower that day. I didn't go outside either. I was just at home working. So I didn't shower that
go
day.
outside.
I had to take her to the roof because I'm like, yo, you haven't been outside.
Oh, he did take me outside to the roof. But this morning, he told me my underarms smell like an everything bagel.
Damn, he said you're well seasoned.
That was my WTF moment. He said he was gonna call his friends and be like, "Hey, do y'all girls smell like everything bagels?"
So did you get up and take a shower, or did you just go throw some deodorant on?
I showered.
I would have for sure just went through some deodorant on, got right back in the bed.
It was like 5 hours later. I didn't shower right. I was like, "You going to smell these underarms?" But yeah, that was awful.
Damn, Brandon. All right, who's next? Who got
I was
it?
so offended.
Are you gonna do a WTF or advice?
No, I was trying to figure it out.
Well, I'll give my WTF. I had an ultrasound on Monday, and I found out that my baby is measuring 4 weeks ahead. So this little homie is big.
He's ready.
He's ready. So I'm due November 4th, but according to my measurements, I'm like he's measuring like 38, 39 weeks. And like, according to that, my due date is now potentially like October 18th. So I thought I had more time to prepare for my child, but it looks like this weekend I'll be doing all my everything else. But
he
it
needs
actually
to come out before he comes out
works
talking
out.
with the tooth.
Oh yeah, and it's like, you know how they give like approximate weights. You know, according to like my little baby app, he should be around like 5.5 pounds. According to the ultrasound, this little homie is over 7 pounds right now. He's big.
Full grown.
Yeah. And it's like I'm so tight and snug. Like I can't even.
Baby.
I can't function.
I'm ready for
I
it.
literally can't function. But it actually works out because I was really scared that I was not going to be able to come to the wedding. But if he comes early,
Then you're there.
you know, I'm just going to be there, probably a hot mess because I've just given birth. But
But you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I'm like, come on, Reese.
Come on, Brandon.
I know.
Bring
I
us
feel
home.
it.
Bring
I
us
feel
the
it.
heat.
You can give us advice.
Give the people advice?
Yeah, you can give any type of advice.
Anything.
All right, I'm just going to say, we all busy, but make time for the people you love. If you got somebody in your mind right now, don't put it off. Send a text or call them right and just surprise them. Just tell them what you was thinking about them. You never know, that person could really need that from you. So that's my word of advice.
I like that.
Love yours.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cole.
Good job, Brandon. All right, guys. So
Remy got her a wiener.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on and telling us about your COVID love story. And I can't wait for part 2.
After we do it again.
And thank you for showing like the positives and benefits, not just from like the woman's side, but the male side of celibacy. Like,
We can do a whole nother podcast just on that.
I think that's really cool,
I'm down for
and it is definitely inspiring.
I'm gonna bring Brother Zach on.
Brother Zach.
Brother Zach, come on.
Man, you tripping.
He's just gonna hold up Ace in your face like, what? What are we talking about here?
We skipped that
Oh my
step.
God.
Actually,
Shout out to my
didn't
guy.
even skip that step. He's like, we had 10 years of this.
It just wasn't intentional, but whatever.
Next person I'm seriously dating, I really would like to commit to this celibacy.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Think Loud.
I think I need it.
I'm done, Kyle.
I need it.
Okay, bring us home.
She
Close us
doesn't
out.
believe it.
I don't.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in to the Think Loud Crew podcast. You can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and review. You can also find us on YouTube, The Think Loud Crew, and on Instagram at The Think Loud Crew. Again, my name is Kyle Lynn, and you can find me on Instagram at Kyle Lynn.
09.
My name is Cheyenne, and I'm done. You can follow me at Shy Not Shy. And you guys who listen to the podcast, please leave reviews on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to. We really read your reviews. Same thing for those who watch us on Instagram. Continue to comment. I mean, not on YouTube, sorry. Continue to comment. We read it all.
I love the YouTube comments.
we feed off of your feedback.
Yes.
Remy, Brandon.
Thank you guys for having us. This was so much fun.
Tell them your Instagram again.
My Instagram is RemyChantel09, and that's spelled RemyChantel09. That's when I graduated high school.
Brandon?
High school, college.
High school.
I graduated college in 13, I think.
Yeah, you did. Because I was 14.
She's going to change it to Remy Bobo 13.
13. All right. Oh, wait. How you introduce yourself?
You're signing off.
Just say I'm
signing out.
Brandon and give us your IG, boy.
I'm new to this.
Nah, you're doing good.
You're doing great.
All right, I'm Brandon. Y'all can find me on Instagram at bkatrell. That's BKATRELL.
Is that your middle name?
Catrell is my middle name.
Catrell.
Catrell.
I like y'all names.
Yeah.
Malachi. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you, guys.